That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
Welcome back to the second episode of Tales from the Camp. I am your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, David Stokes.
And like we said, we're back with episode 2 of Tales from the Camp. And this is an episode where you guys send in your spooky tales, your strange tales, and then we read them on a podcast and talk about them. And the first episode, we were fairly new, so we didn't have any, but now we have some. So
some listener stories.
Yeah, so we're excited. We're gonna let's just get into it, really, because we don't have to update you about anything except for the fact that we have the stories now.
Yup.
So we're just gonna get right into the meat of it. And by the way, we're very thankful that you guys send in these stories. They're great, and we love reading them and love reading them to you. So if you guys haven't sent in a story and you guys have a weird, strange experience that has happened to you, send it on in, and we'll read it on the air. Is this on the air?
Yeah, it's on the air wavelengths.
The podcast, you can still say it's on the air.
I don't know. Sound travels through air.
You went to audio school, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
radio school. But okay, let's get into the first story. So this story comes from actually somebody I know, and his name is Lyle, and he's my boss. And he heard about this podcast, and he goes, I'm going to send you in a story. He's a big fan. So thank you for sending this in, Lyle. And it's a pretty spooky story. Let's get into it. So he says, so I was in the Navy visiting Portland, Oregon, the week after the Rose Festival had happened in town. Do you know about this Rose Festival?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Big thing?
It's a big thing for the Navy, too.
Yeah. So
they come and they bring all their warships and stuff, and they dock it, and then they...
it's like Fleet Week.
Yeah, and they go hunting for sweet sliz.
That's what he told me. I mean, I don't want to get in to it, but he's like, people, they definitely look for the Navy boys when they're in town, especially when he was in the Navy, which was like probably 80s or something like that.
Yeah, my the old radio company I used to work for, we would do an annual party for them when they came, and we would just it was basically women can come in for free. Yeah. And come you
want a nice Navy man to bring home to mom, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Or just have fun for the night if they're back on the water.
I mean, you're from Eugene. I know the talent there. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking for anybody that stumbles off of a ship.
Just about.
So, like he said, the town is amazing and the people were very welcoming. I met this girl and we were set up on a date night at her house. So I went there with myself, my friend Jeff, and a midshipman we had become friends with to meet the girl I was going out with and her 3 friends. Long story short, we were watching Heathers, which is a movie I've never seen before, but they just made a remake out of it, correct?
I think so. I didn't know if there's an original, but I feel like there was one that came out recently.
There definitely was an original, so okay. I have to check that one out. I've heard good things. So we were watching Heathers in the living room, which was right next to the kitchen. They could, from the description, he says that they could look into the kitchen from where they were sitting in the living room. As we were hanging out, my friend Jeff had gotten up to use the restroom, and when he came back, the girl he was with went to bed. I mean, I feel so bad for Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff. We've
all been Jeff.
We have all been Jeff.
My name Jeff.
So the girl he was with went to bed, but about 30 minutes later, I noticed out of the corner of my eye a large male figure standing behind the couch that the midshipman guy was on with his girl, and I thought, why is Jeff standing there? I mean, if that was Jeff, he was just probably looking at 2 guys with 2 girls and just being like, I'm sad. So he was wondering why Jeff was standing there. Then the dark figure turned and walked into the kitchen, which I thought was odd. Then the girl that I was with looked at me with a frightened stare and said, "You saw that too?" And I said, "Yes." She started to scream at this point, and I had jumped up, and the midshipman jumped up, and his girl replaced the spot on the couch where he was. So the girl, ran across the room, jumped on the couch that they were at, because apparently the man was behind them.
Yeah.
And everyone's just screaming. So, I mean, that would make me get up and run across the room because I have no idea what's going on.
I'd just be really confused.
So this figure from behind his friend and the girl walked into the kitchen, which they could also like half see into through like this opening like bar area probably. So the third girl came out of the bedroom to figure out what the commotion was. When she came out of the bedroom, apparently she woke up Jeff, who was sleeping on the floor. So they all thought it was they all thought it was Jeff, but Jeff was sleeping on the floor. I think just maybe like behind one of the couches. They just didn't see Jeff.
So he wasn't in the bedroom like sleeping next to her bed like a dog.
No, she boxed Jeff out hard.
Okay.
So Jeff got up and was like, "What's going on?" And at that point, I think they're all a little bit more freaked out because, I mean, I think that at that point they knew it wasn't Jeff.
At least the guys were definitely like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, that solidified that it definitely wasn't Jeff.
No.
So he got up. He asked what was up. By this time, I had jumped over the couch and beelined it into the kitchen, which was open and in full view of the living room. I told the guys that someone was in the house, and I just saw someone walk into the kitchen, but there was no one in the kitchen. I opened up cupboards, cabinets, etc. We then decided to go down the stairs. The place was a multi-story building, and but they were like at the top. And when they went downstairs and checked all the rooms, which were vacant, they found obviously nothing because they were vacant. So, but when he walked into some of the rooms, he felt that extreme cold that some people find with like spirits and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So he said he felt extreme cold in one of the rooms, but the adrenaline was taking over, and he didn't pay any mind to it apparently. He then walked upstairs and said he didn't see anyone in the house. We then found a door and asked where it went, and the girls yelled down that the door was locked. We turned the handle and it opened.
Uh-oh.
To reveal another stairwell down to darkness. We, as in the guys apparently, decided not to explore further.
Oh, come on. A bunch of military men can't walk down some stairs?
A lot of dust down there. They have
That's
white
true.
uniforms, you know?
Yeah.
And plus, like, they serve our country, not our realm
Our
of
basement.
the living. Our realm of the living, you know? So that's
true.
That's a big fight you got to fight, you know?
True.
Some malevolent spirits.
Yeah.
When we went up, the girls told us that the house was actually haunted, and that's probably why they screamed immediately.
Yeah, you'd think. Maybe this wasn't the first time they had seen this individual.
So they told them that the house was haunted, and they were told to be concerned because the spirit was showing itself to strangers, which I guess is a thing.
It's probably not a good sign.
No, that's how you know it's like it's kind of cocky, and the ghost is cocky and definitely comfortable enough to do that shit.
Maybe he just wanted to watch Heathers.
And
maybe it was one of those things he saw the first half of it, and he's like, fuck, and they turned it off when he was watching in the corner, and then they started watching it again. He's like, oh, fuck, yeah, I'm going to see the ending.
Exactly.
And then they spotted him.
He fucked up. He wanted a snack, and he fucked up.
Should have waited to watch on the iPad when they're out of work.
This is the 80s. No iPads.
No?
No. But he ends it with, it was so real, and I saw something, and I was looking for an explanation. The windows must have been open, and a shadow came through, but the blinds were closed. It was crazy. So he seems more like along the lines of like us, where we're like, okay, we need an explanation for this. But when you see something like that, it hits like a nerve. It hits like your core, and you look for an explanation and you cannot find one. And it's even worse when somebody goes, I just saw that too. It sends chills down your spines. It gets you every time. So, I mean, hopefully the family that lives in that house now,
good luck to you.
Yeah, they got some dream catchers. They got some holy water around the counter.
I'm just really curious of where it was because I lived in Portland for 3 years.
I would love to ask him. I could try to find out what.
But actually, I mean, he never lived in Portland, right? He was just there for the For the Rose Parade?
Yeah, so he never lived there.
So he
but
probably wouldn't know.
He could probably give you a general area of where it was. You know?
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
I mean, it would probably be a lot easier if he just went back there and like retraced his steps. But yeah. So thank you, Lyle, for sending that in, because that is, I think we've all been there to the point. Maybe not somebody else confirming that what we just saw, somebody else saw. But
I know I haven't been in Jennifer's living room watching.
We don't have a name for her.
I thought you said her name was Jennifer.
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe I was just making that up
wow,
through Jeff.
Who's Jennifer?
I think I was just making that up through Jeff.
Jeffifer. Yeah, so we weren't there, and it could have been a lot more real than the ones that I've seen in the corner of my eye. But, especially if somebody else confirms it and goes, I just saw that too. So
yeah,
thank you, Lyle.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Right on. Alrighty, well, I guess it's my turn. So I will start mine with a story from our dear friend Kendra, who I don't know who that is, but it's one of Tobin's friends from college.
Yeah, I know her. I went to college with her. Great gal, great lady.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I just like to reiterate.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I was kidding first.
Well, I was kidding first. See, I'm just saying the same thing you say.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So she says, I have a plethora of stories, but I think this would be a good one to start with. This is basically the story of how an old witch wanted to use me to gain power.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good like movie plot right there.
Of course. I think there's been a few movies like that.
Yeah, probably. Like Hocus Pocus or something like that. But yeah, witches, they need the young blood.
The young blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So she says, sounds crazy, but I promise you it really happened. I guess I should preface this by saying my family and I have always believed in the paranormal and supernatural. Not like vampires and werewolves, although we do love that stuff. More like ghosts, angels, and demons.
I fall in that same ballpark of I'm more of like a believe in spiritual rather than like a guy who got sewn together like a bunch of different body parts and now he's Frankenstein, you know.
I would rather believe in the monsters personally.
Yeah, well, they're serial killers, which are kind of like half of the monsters, Jason and Michael Myers, and
they're not really real, but yeah.
No, I just mean like that's a common trope that is a real thing also.
Yeah,
those are like monsters that can be real monsters too.
Yeah.
So
she says, this is my story, but unfortunately I was about 2 weeks old, so I don't remember this happening.
Oh, that is young blood right there. That's
about as young as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Because, babies don't start producing blood until about, 2 months.
Just like empty basketballs. Like empty
water.
Basketballs.
Yeah. Flat, empty basketballs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going off of the facts told to me over the years from my mom, aunt, grandma, and grandpa. The story takes place in the early 90s in Delano, California. Is that how you say it?
I don't know where that is.
Okay. AKA, as she says here, AKA the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
About 2.5 hours north of LA.
Okay.
LA would be Los Angeles for those that aren't catching on. Not Louisiana.
Maybe near like Bakersfield then. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Kettleman City, somewhere. It's in the middle of the 5, probably a little bit east of that, I'm guessing.
All right. We can figure it out.
Yeah.
It all began when my mom, still pregnant with me, decides to go to a psychic with my aunt for fun. They stroll down what I picture to be a hole-in-the-wall spot with neon lights and a big hand with a crystal ball in front of the building.
That's classic psychic.
There's one down the street from here.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Maybe we should go check her out.
Yeah. It's in between our buddy David and I's places. It's like right in the middle, so maybe we'll meet there sometime.
Yeah.
All right. Probably somewhere in Bakersfield or Fresno, since my hometown's too small to have one.
Hey,
is what she,
like I said, Bakersfield, what's up?
There you go. So
Dwight Yoakam, he's from there.
Who?
Dwight Yoakam.
Is that a baseball player?
He's a country singer who's been in a bunch of movies.
Yeah, he probably played baseball.
You've seen him before.
All right. I think my mom was a little wary to go at first, but my aunt reassured her that she's been there lots of times, and it's always, quote-unquote, fun and lighthearted. When it is time for my mom's reading, the psychic becomes very serious and asks my mom if there is anyone in her family practicing witchcraft.
Oh.
At the time, my mom's grandma and best friend were indeed practicing witchcraft.
Whoa, that is so crazy.
They must know Beyonce.
That's nuts that she would just like call you out like that, and then you kind of have to like lie to her, but she definitely knows the truth because you probably ain't supposed to be dabbling with witchcraft in front of a psychic, or like, and then go see a psychic. She knows.
So here's a little side note. Just a little background info there. My grandmother and her best friend, we'll call her Jay, are from Louisiana.
Yep, that's strong witchcraft territory.
Yep. When they were young, I think about 18 to 20 years old, they decided to move and settle down in California. Over all those years, they practiced witchcraft and became more obsessed and, quotes, stronger in their practice. Yeah. Disclaimer, I do not support nor participate in any of that.
So
that's something someone who did black magic would say.
Well, a lot of Louisiana magic would be like voodoo, black magic type stuff, and not all voodoo is bad or anything like that too. Like what I've seen is that voodoo is just like a type of is it technically a religion or is it just a type of magic? I think it's a religion.
Well, shit, some people think McDonald's a religion, so yeah, sure.
No, voodoo is I kind of like voodoo. I watch this show called Dark Taurus and they talk about voodoo and stuff, and it's pretty interesting. Some voodoo I don't like when they're cutting their arms and stuff like that and rubbing chicken feathers on themselves, but I like the idea of voodoo.
Being closer with a higher spirit.
I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah. So, flash forward to my mom and the psychic. My mom instantly felt chills and told the psychic, "Yes, I do." "Why do you ask that?" The psychic then replied, "I feel a strong dark presence around you. Your baby has a very powerful light in her, and these people will try to get a hold of her to use it for their own."
Oh.
After that, my mom was obviously very creeped out and left a few months later after my mom had me.
It's pretty interesting that they said you have a dark presence around you, but your baby has a light inside of it.
Yeah, that's why they're trying to snatch her up.
Well, I just mean it's very contradictory to it, and like it's I don't know how that magic works, but maybe like they can use the purity of like that light inside the baby to it's almost like this is kind of stupid, but stem cells. You know what stem cells are?
Of course.
So like maybe babies are kind of like stem cell magic, where like you could just put it onto any kind of magic and it becomes stronger. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, because that's the same thing with stem cells. Is like stem cells, they can become any cell because they're cells in like forming. I'm no scientist. But
the babies could be like a catalyst of like strength and like
who knows?
The innocence of the babies could be. Yeah, something like that.
I just meant like how they use their magic to power like a dark magic, like a light magic to power a dark magic. But maybe like innocent power is can power any kind of thing. I don't know.
So I'll continue here. She says, "My mom lived with my grandma in a small old house my great grandpa built in the 40s, I believe. Something important to note is that my grandma's family all lived within the same neighborhood. My great grandma lived down the street on the corner, and my great-grandma's best friend, Jay, lived across the street from my mom and grandma."
So they're all in close proximity to each other.
So, they don't miss out on any seances.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right thing to say.
I saw some people lighting candles on your sidewalk, too, which is kind of weird.
On my sidewalk?
Well, like outside. Yeah, sidewalk. You know where a sidewalk is?
No, like they were on the sidewalk lighting candles?
Yeah, there's two girls lighting a bunch of candles. No, they were on their like
what they look like.
Their driveway.
What they look like?
They're like two like I don't know, one was brunette and one was I don't know, maybe brunette too.
We need to stop the podcast for a minute.
No. They know what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah. One day, as my mom, aunt, grandma, and grandpa were home adoring their newest, coolest family member.
Oh, that's very...
My little brother. No, I'm kidding. She's talking about herself. They heard a knock on the door. It was Jay, the grandmother's friend.
Mm-hmm.
My mom told me as soon as she opened the door, she had a horrible feeling come over her, and she knew that she had to keep me away from Jay.
What the fuck is Jay doing?
I don't know.
Jay better back up.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the ones closest to you are the ones that hurt you the most.
Yeah. Or hurt the baby.
Hurt the baby the most. No touch the baby. You no touch my baby.
Tell me what Jay's going to do. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Jay was a lot older at this point, probably in her 70s. She was very weak and couldn't walk very well.
She needed the baby to get strength.
Yet, she made her way across the street by herself.
Ooh, so
She flew.
No, she did not fly. She just was very eager and determined.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe she's using the last of her magic to get that young blood.
Yeah.
She immediately asked my mom, "Where's the baby?"
Oh, Jay.
And my mom responded, "She's getting some rest." And Jay responded, "I just want to hold her."
Oh, no.
And my mom said, "Sorry, I just got her down." But Jay was very persistent and seemed to become irritated. "I just need to see her." And right then, my mom said, "She was just born. She needs her rest. And you need to go home." Jay reluctantly left. And this is where it gets creepy.
Oh, that was already pretty creepy.
Yeah, well, that's because of my brilliant voice acting. I know.
Okay.
There's no problem. My mom said shortly after Jay leaving, they started hearing all at once banging on the windows, but there was no one there, and it would not let up.
What? Banging on all the windows?
All of them.
Oh my god, that is terrifying.
Even the little window on the oven.
There's something in there too. Any kind of glass partition in between two things.
Exactly.
Was being banged on.
They were all freaked out and knew that somehow this old woman was making it happen. Even my grandpa, who was always a huge skeptic, told me he believed what was going on that day.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it's like when, you know, they ghosts open up cupboards and slam them and stuff like that. But I was picturing like a bunch of little like ghost demons just like smashing, like maybe they can't come into the house, like they have to be invited in, kind of thing. I don't know.
I like to think of cute little demons wearing little diapers.
Just banging on the windows.
Yeah.
Jesus.
My mom said they knew that they had to start praying. My mom said as soon as they started praying, the house started to shake. But shortly after it stopped. So they're like, oh shit, they're starting to pray, like make it more intense, but no.
Wow.
That kind of thing.
That's nuts.
Yeah. My mom and grandma never told me the story until I was in high school. Jay passed away not too long after that happened. I guess she wanted to use some of my light power and positive aurora.
Yeah, I can see that, like, definitely prolonging, like, someone's life. It goes back to what I was saying about, even though you're dark magic or whatever, you can use light magic to power yourself. You know? Who knows? I mean, I don't know how magic works, but...
I mean, I'm an expert, but I can explain that to you later.
I'll Google it.
My family and I have always had special gifts, and I'm just now getting more of our history, and it's insane. My sister and brother even see stuff and have so many crazy stories, but I'll have to save that for another time.
Hell yeah. So, like, clairvoyancy runs in the family. It's genetic.
Yeah.
Damn, that is nuts. And you know what? Fuck Jay. It seems like she was. I don't mean that in like. I mean, but
You're trying to break that frail old woman, aren't you?
If she's gonna, yeah, it sounds like she was trying to use you for malicious purposes to a certain extent, or to prolong her own life. Very selfish, you know. And who knows? You might have. They could have been like, "Oh, the baby's not breathing," and be like, "Oh," Jay's like, "Oops, sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kendra finishes this with a little more of a personal paragraph that's just to us, which I don't have to read. But she also includes that she just found a bunch of embarrassing photos from parties at Tobin's house at SDSU, which are hilarious.
Yeah, there are some. We had a couple good little shindigs there, you know.
Yeah.
I think I have one of like me holding a bottle of champagne. It was my birthday, and we were.
We get it. You have birthdays. You're cool.
I drink Andre. Deal with it, guys.
Wow.
I'm rich. I'm sorry. So,
Man.
you know, not all of us can be big baller brand.
I splurge on a chicken McNugget for my birthday.
No, you still can't afford that shit.
I can't.
I bought that for you.
He did.
One McNugget, please.
Just one. We don't sell that. Then throw the other ones away.
Yeah, it's like that Tenacious D bit. Anyway, okay, let's jump to the next story.
Let's jump and skip on over. Thank you, Kendra.
Thank you, Kendra. That was awesome. That was really cool. I got chills. So, this next story comes from Natasha, and it's called Guardian Angel, 2 question marks. So she's really confused at this point. So she says, 1,000 years ago, I was due to take my SATs down at Cal State Northridge. I'm guessing that's not a real 1,000 years. She's just trying to say she's old.
Or maybe she's a very old spirit.
This is my girlfriend's close friend, so
Nah.
she's not old. She's just like a year older.
As far as
than
you
me.
know.
So
Could be Jay, as far as we know.
Jay's like, 1,000
Jay found
years.
another baby to suck the life out
So we
of.
got an email from Jay. 1,000 years ago, I was trying to steal this baby.
Little bitch baby wouldn't give in.
So, 1,000 years ago, I was due to take my SATs down at Cal State Northridge. I did not yet have a car on my own, so my mother volunteered to take me and wait for me to finish the exam.
Shit, the SATs itself is a horror story.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, but it sounds like there's a guardian angel, so not necessarily.
Maybe not for her.
I was going to say
get one of those.
the only thing worse than SATs is a haunted building where you take the SATs in, but this might be the opposite.
At least I'd have an excuse for that score.
Spook the intelligence out of me, the smart out of me.
I broke the Scantron.
So we headed down to CSUN, which is the college, that Saturday morning, thinking we were good on time. We found a parking spot. We found a parking lot, and it seemed legit. And I stepped on campus to find Sequoia Hall. So they were trying to find Sequoia Hall, where the test was actually being held. We walked and walked, not seeing really anyone else walking around, or really any building with a bunch of test takers. We needed to find a directory. The good time we had made was quickly wearing down, and we could not be late to the test. So they were in a crunch, and they...
A Nestle Crunch?
Not a Nestle Crunch, but the SAT, they are very unforgiving. If you show up late there, they'll just be like, oh, sorry, it started, fuck you.
Yeah.
You don't get to go to college, fuck you.
Yeah.
So we rounded a corner and ran into a young Latin guy. Handsome, wearing a red T-shirt and jeans. Ooh, wait, is this a romance novel or?
I like where this is going.
Spooky story.
I want to know more about the Ernesto.
So, another kid who took the test, we assumed. I was about to apologize for running into him, but before we got the words out, he asked if he could use my cell phone. I've run into those people before, but it is 2 a.m. and they are weirdo drunk guys. And hey man, I know.
They didn't put my number in the phone.
All my friends left. Let me see your phone. Can you open up the pictures part? So, like she says, now mind you, this is 2007 roughly, and not everyone had cell phones. So that is also a fair part of the story.
Yeah,
everyone
sure.
does have them now. For whatever reason, I said sure, and felt my mother roll the shit out of her eyes, and she mouthed, "We have to go," which is a classic mom thing to do.
Yeah, she's not paying. He's not paying for the minutes.
Moms don't have to be nice anymore. Moms are just like real,
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't got time for this shit.
Yeah.
So Latin guy seemingly makes a phone call, quote, "Hey, pick me up where you dropped me off." Quick to the point. I like it. Then hangs up and hands the cell phone back to me. "Thanks. Hey, are you taking the test right now?" she said. Now I'm like reading a book.
Right now?
He's like, "No, I'm making a call."
Oh, can I have a pencil?
So she asked if he was taking the test right now, and he said, "Yeah, we are looking for." He asked. I'm sorry. He asked, "Are you taking the test right now?" And she said, "Yeah, we are looking for Sequoia Hall, but we're lost." And he said, "Oh, well, I came from there. I can show you the way if you'd like." He seemed helpful enough, and we didn't have much time. My mother and I decided to follow this guy we didn't even know, which is a risky thing to do.
Yeah.
But as long as you kind of stay on campus, I feel like you're okay. Just don't go into any weird hallways where there's not a lot of people. Try to stay out in the open,
Yeah.
So, especially when you're in a time crunch.
And kick between the legs and run.
Yeah, so he said, "You nervous about the test?" he asked. And she said, "I am. I practiced, but I don't know." And he said, "You should be nervous about me. I killed my dad last night." He didn't say that.
I was going to say, you should be more nervous about me, lady.
Yeah, I know. So he said, she said, "I practiced, but, I don't know." And he said, "I know you're worried about the math portion, but you're going to be fine. Don't change your answer," he interrupted. "You always change your answer. You need to just go with what you know. And don't forget to read the question all the way through and show your work." I agreed in the moment, but thought it was odd that he knew that I struggled in math. maybe I really did look that nervous. So, I mean, I feel like math is just
I feel like no one's like there's like one out of 10 is good at math. Like, good at math. Like people are like moderate and like they get by, but like.
But it was weird that he was just like, I know you're bad at math, and she's like, I'm really good at math, and he's like, I know I'm bad at judging people.
I'm gonna go away now.
So that was kind of eerie, you know, kind of weird.
Yeah.
So he said, "Here we are." He announced. Next thing I knew, we were in front of Sequoia Hall. I guess we would have found it eventually, Ma. That's what she said. She said, I guess we would have found it eventually, Ma. I turned back to my mother. Where'd he go? She said, with a blank stare looking past me. I turned back to thank the guy, and he was gone. Vanished, poof. I looked for his red shirt, but he was just gone. I dug into my pocket for my cell phone to check who he had called.
It was gone.
No, yeah, he took the phone. No, that would be funny, actually. But she dug into her pocket and got the cell phone out to see who had called, and she said it was some bullshit number, 5 digits and a star key. Well, who was this guy?
Did she try to call it back?
You can't dial 5 numbers and a star key.
It doesn't matter.
I bet she did.
If it was in the call log, then why wouldn't you just go, okay, let me click on it and call it back?
She probably did. I mean, nothing came of it because it just goes, we're sorry. The number you're trying to reach does not exist. That was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So, who was this guy? Whoever he was, he knew something. I did well on my SATs, made it through the math portion relatively unscathed. I can picture the guy all over again if I close my eyes, and I would like to think he was a guardian angel of sorts. Ooh. She likes to picture the guy. She closes her eyes.
I like to picture him too, and I've never seen the guy.
Oh, he's got a red shirt and jeans. He's a handsome Latin guy. So...
I'm just soaking that in.
Where are all my handsome Latin guardian angels when I need them?
We're just not that lucky.
No, we're not. So, I mean, it is pretty weird to, like, it would be weird if one of those things happened to you where you're like, that was weird. He just assumed I was bad at math. It's kind of insulting, actually. And then all of a sudden he's like, can I use your phone? And there's 5 digits in there, and he's just like, he disappears.
Yeah.
Luckily, he didn't have the phone, but weird overall.
Well, I think there's a big part of the story that's missing that's really important.
What's that?
How did she do on the SATs?
She just said she did pretty well. Did you not just listen?
Might have had a brain aneurysm there for a second.
Yeah, I think you did. She said she did well on her SATs, and she went through the math portion relatively unscathed.
Oh, they did
she
say
sounds
that.
more like an English pro.
Sometimes
unscathed.
Yeah. English section was phenomenal.
She's like, I went through the math portion.
The mashed potatoes.
2 plus 2 equals 8, and I killed it. So, yeah. So that was a lighter. That was what we call light magic. You know,
light magic.
We got a lot of dark magic. We need some more babies.
More babies.
So thank you, Natasha. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Loved it.
Thanks, Nat Dog.
Nat Dog. She's got a cute husky, by the way.
Does she?
Yeah.
Dogs are cool. Dakota.
Mm-hmm. So
North Dakota,
South Dakota. Hit me with a new story.
Husky Coda. All right, so I've got another one here.
This is the final story, right?
Yes, it should be. I mean, I only got 2. So this is from Chanel, and she said, "Hey, Tobin."
I know Chanel too.
And she said, "And other guy, David, whom I do not know." Well, yeah, I don't know you either, so that's fine.
She just got engaged.
And now I'm reading your story. Oh, congratulations on the engagement.
Congrats on the engagement.
So I will start this off and say, about a year ago or so, my mom found this artsy, swirly-looking metal sculpture for the living room. We put it on the mantle.
Moms are really good at finding artsy, swirly, weird things to put in the house. My mom really likes cherub angels, which is...
Cherub angels?
Yeah, they're baby fat angels. Baby angels. So
goodness.
Moms are really great at grabbing weird shit.
My mom does the opposite, where if she sees...
She sells everything in her house.
No, if she sees anything in existence that has a Boston Terrier on it, she buys it for me and gives it. That's why there's so many pictures on, like, in my bedroom, above the bar.
That's a type of mom too. The gift giving one, where it's just like they find out that you really like.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
You like frogs, so anything with a frog, they'll either take a picture and send it to you, or just straight up buy it and send it to you.
Yep. I'm not complaining, but that's just how it is for me. Which is
my mom does that too. Anything, because my birthday's on St. Patrick's Day, so anything.
That's right.
Anything with shamrocks.
Yeah.
I'm getting a care package full of shamrock shit.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So I will.
I am thankful though. Thank you, Mom.
Yep. So the mom found this this very artsy, swirly looking metal sculpture, and it's now in their living room, up on the mantle. A few weeks ago, a couple weeks into having it on the mantle, at a certain time of day when the light hits it just right, we noticed a projection of a shadow on the wall that looked a lot like my late grandfather.
Oh.
I'm not saying this shadow had a silhouette of a man's face. I'm saying it was nearly identical to the image of an old black and white photo we have of our grandfather in a frame upstairs in the house. I've got a photo of them side by side. It's weird.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So she took a picture of the, of the photo and then put it next to it. It wasn't attached, so I'm not sure what the hell's going on, Chanel.
We're going to have to get that. Yeah. I really want to see that now.
Yeah. So this, of course, got everyone all riled up. But once the hype about it passed, it just became like a friendly reminder, coincidence of my grandfather possibly watching over us.
That's nice.
Which is something I also believe in. Maybe like next time I'll talk about something similar that's going on with my family and stuff, of like my late grandfather, like being around from up above. So cut a few months later, a close friend of mine's boyfriend passed away suddenly. During this time of mourning, I walked into the house as usual, and I noticed a shadow from the mantle was no longer resembling my grandfather, but it was a spitting image of my friend's boyfriend who had passed.
No way.
I freaked out, like it had a beard now and everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's super creepy.
Do you think that there's like some kind of like
she'll get into it,
passageway between the light beams?
She'll bring it up.
Okay.
I took another picture and sent it to her, asking what she saw. She proceeded to freak out as well. I decided from that point forward that the statue must be some sort of spirit portal or something. I really don't know.
So the statue is the spirit portal, not just like reflections in general or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
My living situation at the time was unique. My parents have a main house where the sculpture was. It was in there in the living room. And she was renting. Sorry, I started reading this in third person for her. I'll continue to read it first person from how she wrote it. And I was renting this side house loft from them that was on the property. So it's like, kind of like a smaller little house off to the side.
I know what a loft is.
Okay, for me personally, a loft is something that's up above like a room.
That's different.
Okay. It has its own kitchen, living room, and staircase leading to where the bed is, but it's technically just one big room in a little house.
Okay, yeah.
My boyfriend was staying over one night. Hey, ooh. And we both now husband or
fiance.
Fiance.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna reread that one. My fiance.
Hopefully it's the same guy.
Hopefully. Oh shit. Didn't think about that. Oops. So I'll start that one over. My boyfriend was staying over one night, and we both woke up the next morning saying that awful scary nightmares we both had the night before. Should have proofread some of this. We tried to figure out what we ate. Does that affect your dreams? What you ate?
Yeah.
It does?
Well, yeah, because if you...
God, no wonder I wake up screaming every night.
You should stop eating all that Drano.
Yeah.
No,
it's
like,
so good, though.
because I get night terrors and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
if you eat before you go to bed, sometimes you get, like, more vivid dreams, or, like, it just... I think your body is moving and digesting, so, like, maybe there's just a kind of, like, interference up in there, like...
I know my old one of my college roommates said if you eat an entire loaf of bread and you go to sleep, you trip balls really hard.
Or you just get fat as shit. Don't eat an entire loaf of bread before you do anything.
I'm not going to tell people to live their lives.
So they ate, and what happened? They had bad dreams?
Yes. So they both woke up having bad dreams together. We tried to figure out what we ate or did maybe before we went to bed that could have caused us both to have very restless sleep. Another night, shortly after he popped up from the bed randomly from sleep and asked me urgently what time it was. I looked, and it was 3:30 a.m., which is known as the witching hour.
Yeah, I've heard
so
of
that was unsettling. The following week, I woke up to shut off my alarm for work across the room at 5 a.m. It was still dark out. And once I did so, I heard the screen of my sliding glass door downstairs slam, and then the blinds clanking together from the movement until they stood still again.
What?
So I got scared, and I flew back underneath my sheets and stayed there, heart racing until it got light enough to go outside, where I could crawl back outside and investigate. So like waiting until like, natural sunlight came in through the room. So it's like, no monsters.
You don't want to go out in the middle of the night and see that's how they get you. They slam something hard and then you got to check it out and that's when they get you. So
they get you every time. Works every time.
Don't.
Except for this time.
Nope.
I
Good
figured
thinking, Chanel.
I figured maybe someone outside in the backyard slammed the door for no reason. And then, to my horror, I saw that the screen door that I heard slam was on the inside of the house.
Ooh.
With a sliding glass to the backyard being shut and locked. Nothing felt right from that point forward. I would get anxiety attacks on my way back home from work before entering my house again. I would wake up in the dark early mornings for no reason, and the energy just felt different in there.
Yeah, I mean, especially if that's a portal and it's not just, your friendly family ghost coming through. It might be
God knows who.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it is and they're trying to get your attention, but I mean, if you feel anxiety and stuff like that, it could be definitely something else.
Yeah. The feeling was hard to explain, but whatever energy was there did not feel malicious, but it felt trapped.
Okay.
I called a woman that I had seen a few years back for Reiki.
For Reiki? What does that mean?
Reike. It's like a type of spiritual thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that.
Reiki? I think the lady downstairs does it from my place.
Oh, does she? Is that why it always smells like incense?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so I think it's Reiki, who I knew was also a medium. She also sensed that the spirit was not evil, but while it's on its journey to wherever, it got trapped in my home.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, regardless of its intentions, I wasn't ready for it to have a ghost for a roommate. So I asked her what I could do to make it go away. She said to go smolge my house with sage.
What's smolging? Is that a verb I don't know about?
It's like...
I know sage.
I'm assuming it's just burning sage.
Okay. So smolging just means to burn sage, or maybe it's like a certain spiritual... what's the word I'm looking for? Ritual?
Yeah.
Smolging? I don't know.
And that to keep the windows and doors open as much as possible to let, the spirits out.
Mm-hmm.
And try her hardest not to act scared, but to be confident in its presence and telling it that it needs to move on.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's all about, it's like a mountain lion. There's a bear. Which one do you get big around? You gotta get real big, you know? You can't show them you're scared because that's when they attack you, you know? Okay.
I went out and bought some sage, proceeded to smolge my house and that sculpture in my parents' house, just in case it was the reason for all of this, and walked around with a Bible saying the Lord's Prayer, just in case it helped in any way of it moving on. Mm-hmm. I felt ridiculous, but I knew what I was feeling and had experienced was real. During this time, about 2 weeks, I would often walk downstairs in the morning to leave, and the dangly cords on the ceiling fan would be spinning around themselves and dancing around in an odd way.
Oh, that's weird.
The ceiling fan was not turned on, and there was no source of airflow to make them move. I came to recognize that those fan cords as when the spirit was present or not.
Yeah, because they do a lot of like the pendulum. You know what I mean? I mean, what's it called? A fan cord is very similar to a pendulum. It's just like a rope or a string with a heavy object on the end of it. So, I mean, those, if they move off kilter and stuff like that, that means that there's like a spirit there. So, I mean, damn, that's crazy right there.
Yeah. This went on for a while, but as the woman advised, I slowly became familiar with the ghost mate. That's funny. Roommate, ghost mate.
Oh. I was like, what's ghost mate?
And would say hi every time the fan cord started to dance out of nowhere, and would tell it should probably make its way out of here.
That's what scares the shit out of me. It makes me less scared just to think it's there, but when I speak it into existence, like right when I go, hello, I know there's a spirit here. That gives me chills just talking that right now. Like, that scares the shit out of me.
I don't know. I agree with her because I feel like if, like, I accept that it's there and I'm, like, friendly and kind of joke around with it, like, I feel like it's not as uncomfortable.
It's true. It's not as uncomfortable, but it's terrifying admitting that there's something else there in the room with you. And, like, thinking it's one thing, but saying it out loud is, like, it creeps me the shit out. Creeps me the shit.
Creeps you the shit.
Creeps me the shit out.
I'm not sure exactly when the thing left, but eventually it did. The fan cords stopped moving on their own, and the house felt the same as it did before.
That's weird. That's weird, that the fact that, like, maybe she didn't notice that the cords moved before and they kind of move, and now, like, they continue to move, but now they stopped moving.
Yeah.
So, like, there was something going on with those things.
Yeah. I have since moved up to LA, and my sister has moved into the loft. And she says those fan cords never move on their own. I asked her to check just to make sure I didn't make this all up in my head.
See, exactly. It's like, it's a difference if, like, you just never noticed it before, and now they continue to do it to this day. It's like, but they're not doing it anymore.
Yeah. The sculpture on the mantle in the house no longer casts any face-like shadows either. Only the shadow of the swirly metal it's made out of.
Oh, wow.
And that's it. Whoever my friendly, yet noisy, temporary ghost mate was, I wish them the best of luck, and I hope they found their place. I hope they found the place they were going to.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
But wow, I mean, it's nice to know that it wasn't a malicious spirit. It just seemed like something that was, like you said, trapped within there. So
I think the ghost was just hot. Just wanted the fucking fan on.
It was a sexy ghost? Oh, it was hot. Yeah. Oh, it was trying to pull the fan cords. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the fan would have helped it escape the room a little bit more.
Maybe it was a little kid and it was trying to reach and couldn't reach.
No, it was trying to get like a boost by the fan, you know,
yeah,
just like
a little whirlwind.
It's like when you run into a rotating door and then shoot out the other side.
Yeah.
That's what it was trying to do.
Exactly.
So, I mean, wow, that is creepy. And I don't know about you guys, but if there was a ghost in my immediate bedroom and I knew about it, I think I'd do everything like that Chanel did with the whole smolging, and I would have pulled every trick out of the book. And I don't even know if I would have slept in that room. Like, I just get creeped out about that kind of stuff. It's like, especially when you're just so vulnerable sleeping there. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So I think that wraps up the Tales from the Camp episode 2.
Yeah, we should probably wrap this up before my neighbors make more noise and we have to stop.
They've been slamming a lot of doors tonight, so a lot of helicopters.
They're getting real rowdy. The Lakers lost. Ha ha.
Yeah, so a lot of. I mean, I'm not a Lakers fan.
Go Blazers.
But yeah, so a lot of motorcycles in the neighborhood too. But thank you guys for sending in your stories. We love them. We love reading them, and we love that you guys are participating in this, because we wouldn't be doing this if you guys weren't listening in the first place. So thank you guys again. Check out campstrange.com for all the hyperlinks, rate, review, subscribe, do all this stuff. His neighbor sounds like he's trying to break into our place.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like someone's trying to get into my place.
We're definitely recording at my house next time. But yeah, so reach out, DM us, send us an email with the story, or just DM us with the story, and we're quick to respond. And if you have any questions, just let us know, or just tell us if we're fucking up stuff, then we'll correct ourselves. So yeah, okay, well, thank you guys again for tuning in, and don't forget to stay strange.